Yes, hello, and welcome once again to the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. As you know, I'm your host here, Angel, coming to you live, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us. It's great to be here again. Beautiful, beautiful day. Today's Monday, May 17th. I know a lot of y'all do not like Mondays, but hey, Monday is a sign that's the beginning of a fantastic week. It all depends about your mindset. All depends what you want to achieve, right? So I just want to let you know, guys, that you can follow me Facebook Live here, Angel Santos. YouTube, please go to my YouTube channel. If you're watching through YouTube, please subscribe. Click on the notification bell, right here. You get that bell, okay, and then you could get notified when I'm live. Follow me on Instagram as well and Twitter and all the other social platforms you can imagine. I'm trying to be spread out everything, all the information, as you know. So say what's up to my Instagram people over here. Follow me live over here. Please go to Facebook because the stream on Instagram won't be too long, but you'll be able to follow me over there. So once again, guys, thank you for joining this podcast, the podcast that was made for you. Podcast is about great-minded people who have their own business, who have a small business or don't have a business, but they're probably thinking of doing one in the future. I want you on my podcast, okay? So this is the podcast that it doesn't matter what age group you are, young, just being that you have that fresh mindset, right? That you're just looking to do new things. You have some idea, creativity that you just want something fresh. And if you want to be on my podcast, please comment down below. If you know someone that could be a benefit to this podcast or could be on this podcast, they have a great story to tell. They want to tell the story. They want to share their brand. They want to grow their brand. Well, I want this podcast to be that vehicle, that tool that you could use to get your brand out there. So comment, put their name down below, comment, share, do whatever you have to do. Like this video. I appreciate all your support. I'm truly, truly blessed to be here again, and truly blessed for all you friends, family, all the followers that share this content. So first of all, just for quick announcements, as you guys know, if you want to do the audio, because a lot of you probably don't like to hear Facebook or video, you don't have time to drive and look at the video, you could download the audio. Okay, and the audio is good to have. The audio is going to be after I finish this podcast. I'm going to share the link, okay, and you'll be able to listen to my special invited guest that I have today, and you'll be able to download it there. As you can see, Anchor app is totally free. It's a free app, or you could go on your computer to anchor.com, and you could download the audio there. You don't have to create an account or anything like that. Okay, Anchor is brought to you by Spotify. Okay, so Spotify, if you have a Spotify account, you can actually see the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast audio there, and you could download it there for free as well. Okay, and you can also get it on the Google Podcast. There's the links down there. Feel free to download that at your convenience. So, guys, once again, thank you so much. It's a true honor to be here. The next guest that I have today, as you see in the post, his name is Thoris Burt, and he's an old friend of mine from high school, okay, from back in the days. Back in 1995 was when I met this brother, probably like 94, when I was at University High School here in Orlando. And I got to meet him through another friend of mine, Aaron. What's up, Aaron? Hope you're listening. And I met him through one of the apartments. They used to live here in Orlando. We used to hang out, play basketball, etc., whatnot. So now, I've always kept in contact with him. He's followed me on Facebook and whatnot. And he's a wonderful brother, man. He's what I consider my brother from another mother. Okay, he's a great friend. We always kept in contact. This dude is trustworthy, man. This guy is a man of God. He's a son of God. He has a wonderful family here in Orlando. And I was very intrigued with him, with his business, right? Because he was doing a Facebook Live, and I caught him doing his live, and he's talking about his business. And I saw him, doing that little hustle, trying to get his brand out there and whatnot. So when I came up with this podcast, I reached out to him, and he was truly excited to be a part of this podcast. So, and we finally set the date for today. And man, listen, it's been a blessing to have him here, to take out of his schedule. So let's all welcome Mr. Thoris Burt. What's up, my brother? Where is he? Right there he is. Yo,
Oh,
what's up, baby?
what's up, man? What's up,
Yeah.
Angel? Hola,
What's
hola, ¿cómo está, mi amigo?
don't get it twisted, man. This guy he used to hang around with us and he had to learn his Spanish, man. What's up, mi hermano? So this guy is
Bien,
straight up.
bien, bien.
That's good, brother. That's good, Tori. Well, thank you for joining me, man. Look, it's an honor, bro, to have you here. Thank you for taking out your busy schedule. I know all of us we have a busy schedule, right? But it's not that we don't have time; it's that we have to make the time to do what we got to do, right? All of
Exactly.
us have the same time. We all have 24 hours, my people. So please don't tell me that you don't have the time. Just tell me, say, look, I'm not interested right now. I'll get back at you later. That's more. I could take that. That's better than to say, no, I don't have time right now. Yeah, we all have time. We all have time. If not, just do what I do. Just try to sleep a little bit less, and then instead of sleeping 7 hours, just sleep 5, and then those 2 hours you can add to the rest of your day. What about that? You think about that, Taurus?
Yes, sir. That
Good
sounds
idea.
good, brother. Good idea. Good idea, man.
Listen, bro. So how you doing, man? How's the family? How's everything going, bro?
Going well. I actually went to my nephew's graduation today, so he's gonna be out of high school, headed off to the military, and then my oldest, she'll be graduating from university. Our alma mater,
What?
man. She'll be graduating from university this year on the 26th.
Get out of
And
here.
be headed
18
off to
years
college.
already, bro.
Yeah, man. Yes.
You old,
It's
bro. I'm sorry, man. You old,
no,
Bobby.
you
You
all,
old.
you all. Yes,
Oh, I love it.
sir.
That's the relationship that we have, man. That's the relationship we have. We don't get to spend a lot of time together, whatnot. But this is my brother, man. This is my brother.
When
I'm
we
so
do,
glad
when
you're
we
here, bro.
do.
I'm glad.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
bro. Listen, man. So the family is growing. I know my daughter's 9 years old, bro. She's
Wow,
already fourth grade, going to fourth grade now. Man, she loves school, and I'm glad. I'm glad that she loves what she does, man.
that's
It's a
awesome.
good it's a good thing, man. So thank you for being here, bro. And this is the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast, as you know. Um,
Thank you for having me.
Basically,
Thank you for
yeah,
having
man.
me.
No, definitely. Thank you for being here. Basically, like I say, I like to have people here connect with the stories. So if you're gonna be on this podcast, get your story ready. Get ready what you're gonna say about your story, because I already say, like I was telling Torres earlier. People connect with stories, right? People connect with the story because we all come from different backgrounds, and we all come from different family, the way they raise you and whatnot. I'm gonna get into that with you, Torres, real quick. So let's start off with that, man. Let's start off with I know you're from Alabama, so all the people from Alabama, I got represented right here.
Woo, woo.
What? Yes, Alabama in the house, man. So tell me about it, man. You're born in Alabama. How's that family? Like, talk to me about your family. Did they raise you? What was the role model? Your mom, your dad, and whatnot?
So Huntsville, Alabama, to be exact. Born
Mm,
and raised there, and I was raised, by my single mom. I didn't meet my dad until later on in life.
wow,
But
me
my
too.
mom, she's the one that held it down. You know what I mean? She
Yeah,
took care of us, and even I look back today, like, I don't know how she did it. I really don't know how she did it, because it's like, you get older, you get on your own, and you start making your money and everything like that, and you're like, well, how does she get this money to stretch so far, with
wow.
3 kids and on one income and everything like that. So, my mom, she taught me a lot, growing up from just the first thing is just balancing a checkbook. I learned how to balance a checkbook from my mom. I learned the importance of credit from my mom,
That early
so
age?
that early age, man. So like literally
Wow.
when we moved here from Huntsville in '93, I was working at Publix. And so, so she was like, you know what, you need to buy you a car. I'm not buying you a car. If you want a car, you got to buy it yourself. I was like, okay. So I started working at Publix, and I saved up all the money that I needed for a car. And so she goes, okay, now that you saved up the money, we're not going to just rush out and go buy a car. What we're going to do, we're going to go to Fairwinds Credit Union, because that's who we were members with at the time. And
Yeah.
well, she was a member with it at the time. And she said, we're going to go to Fairwinds Credit Union, and I'm going to co-sign on you a loan for this car.
Ah.
And at the time, I was like, cosign, but I got cash. I don't get that. So then she broke it down and explained it to me. She goes, well, this is going to establish your credit at 17
Ooh.
year old. And
Wow.
this is why this is so important. And so
Yeah.
literally, I had all the money saved. We went in, got the loan. I found the car. We purchased the car. I made payments on that loan for like a year. And that was the beginning of establishing my credit to the point where, obviously over the years, I was able to buy cars, able to buy houses, and things of that nature. And so that was something that I still think about to this day. It's like, if she didn't stress to me the importance of credit, that was my beginnings of financial literacy at that young of an age. And who would think that it would take me to the point where I am now, where I'm educating families on the importance of financial literacy. And that all came from my mom. You know what I mean?
Wow, bro. So that's important, bro, because at a young age, a lot of, we parents is like, okay, go ahead and learn the hard way. But your mom actually guided you. Now, you have siblings?
Yes, I have brothers and sisters. I have two. I have an older sister and a younger brother on my mom's side. And then I have other siblings too on my dad's side as well. So it's like 6 of us all together.
Okay, but your mom, she mainly focused with you towards that point, or was it with everybody?
It was me, because I know with my sister she was older, so my sister is older, and
Yeah.
so my sister was with our grandmother a lot of the time. So I think because I was the oldest at home, and I had a younger brother, and so she was grooming me, to be that, that brother figure, that father figure from my younger brother. And so she was giving me those steps, to prepare me.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
then after that, like your brother probably saw you like that. And that was like a role model for him, right? He learned from you.
Yeah. I mean, he did. I mean, to this day, he actually started his own business before I did. You know what I mean? So he took it. So if that tells you about, his mindset and everything like that as well. But just that grooming, that my mom did for me and did for him as well. It was just really instrumental in our careers.
That's important, bro. That's awesome that your mom did that, bro. Because look at she planted that seed, man. She planted that seed, and look at that tree now. You got a huge tree, man. That's a blessing, bro. God bless her, man. That's awesome, bro. Well, I learned a similar way, but I didn't have that guidance. So I kind of like, when I went to get my car, I just went to a dealership, not knowing about credit, and I just went for it. I saved up, like with you. I had that money, I saved it up, and after shortly after I finished high school, I was 21. I got my first car, and then from there on, I just everything was I'm pretty much on my own. I kind of like understood the concept, but I pretty much learned it on my own. It was different. But hey, you live and learn. You live and learn. You live and learn, bro. So listen, bro. So then when you're in high school, bro, I was reminiscing the other day, bro, about the talent show, bro. Oh my god, yo, this guy had the talent show with Aaron, bro. These people were like, back in the day, the Jodeci, man. These people were like the Jodeci high school, man. They were singing. They love, bro. All right? Tell me not, bro.
Yes, man. Those were some amazing times, brother. We really thought we were Jodeci and New Edition and everybody, man, had the outfits and everything all specially picked out, coordinated and everything, man. But yeah, those are some fun times.
Do you have pictures of that, bro? I gotta see those. I don't know if because I remember Aaron. He invited he was like, yo, you gotta come to my talent show. Yo, Thoris gonna be there. We're all gonna be singing. He sang. I know he sang something, and they loved him. I don't. Who won that talent show? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I mean, I know we came pretty close to like either second or third place or what. But we weren't number one. I remember that much. But we just had all the girls just I remember that like it was yesterday.
What? That's crazy, man. That's going down memory lane, man. It's good to go down memory lane once in a while.
Yes. And speaking of that too, I mean, moving here from Huntsville. One of the first people that I met, her name was Christy, and she was also from Alabama. just a different part. I think it was either Hartsel or I think it was Hartsel that she was from. But
Okay.
she was the one that encouraged me to try out for the play The Wiz. And so that was how I got into, drama and everything in theater, just because of her, because she was like, hey, you need to go out and try out for this play that we have. And, of course, I was already a fan of it because of Michael Jackson and Diana Ross and, and everything like that, and Richard Pryor, So I was like, well, I'll just try out, to see if I can be like a Funky Monkey or a Yellow Brick Road person or something like that. But
yeah,
lo and behold, man, I got the role of the Wiz, so that was pretty amazing, man. And it really took me out of that shell that I was in, being quiet and reserved and everything like that. Cause it's like the people that knew me in Alabama, especially in high school, a lot of them I'm still friends with, and we follow each other on Facebook, so just my personality then, that they remember to the personality that shifted when I moved to Orlando. It was like a difference night and day. And, Miss Douglas was, one of my teachers there at university. And I know she was still there, Lily, up until last year. But she really made an impact in my life and really pushed the envelope for me to, go against my comfort zone and really do it.
Get out of that nutshell. Get out that nutshell.
For sure.
Yeah, bro. Well, hey, when you're young is different, bro. So you moved here in 93?
Yeah, it was 93.
Oh, so you just born like kind of like me. I came from Puerto Rico in 93 and I graduated like the following year, 94. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's when it was.
So after high school, like what did you do? Like what were your plans? Like what was Thoris's dreams? Like when you were in high school, you're like, okay, I got high school, I got this diploma, I'm gonna take over the world now.
So boom. Yeah. So my thought process was, I wanted to become an engineer, and I went to UCF, and when that calculus just like slapped me in the face, and I was just like, yo, this is not it. This is not it.
Really?
And so then I shifted to business management, and from there, I just was just really focused on that, and it really shifting to business management. It allowed me to do a lot of things. I was working with AT&T. I got involved. I became a trainer.
I remember that.
Trainer. Did that for many, many years as well. So I spent like 7 years with AT&T, even through college and everything like that. And then after 7 years there, I spent another 7 years at a telecommunications company called Windstream. I did that for 7 years as well. And then, from there, I started working in healthcare recruiting. So I was a recruiting manager for a company called Jackson Healthcare. And so I did that for a year. And that was something that I wanted to try because I wanted to get into the healthcare field, something that, it just seemed to be more stable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I did that for a year, learned a lot. I just know that it was a beast. It was a beast. The recruiting industry, beast. It is. But I learned a lot in that time frame of that year. And then after that, I was offered a position as a sales manager for a company called Quill.com, which is owned by Staples. And so I did that for 3.5 years until they shut down the center in Maitland. And then at that point, that was the beginning part of me shifting to the entrepreneur mindset.
Right.
And that was, so I was laid off in March of 2016, March of 2016. And that was the time frame that I got my license to become a financial consultant. And that was my frame of mind at that point. I was like, at this point, I've been through, the layoffs and just having corporate America, being able to strangle me, whenever the time came for them to say, hey, great job, but we don't need you anymore. So that's when I made that shift to venture out to get my license and everything like that. And then in the midst of that time frame is when I was approached by a friend of mine, and he was like, hey, they have this company that they need someone to build up their inside sales team. And so, I talked to them, we negotiated numbers and everything like that. And I finally came on board with them. And after creating, getting everything up and running for them, the whole training program, the CRM, HR, getting the payroll and everything in place.
Right.
4 months later, they let me go as well. So it was like, thank you for doing all this work, but we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And so that was a time that it became really evident for me to do my own thing. You know what I mean? And so that's when I partnered up with a good friend of mine that has a tax office. Shout out to TNT Taxes in Metro Orlando, Metro West.
Absolutely.
Because they gave me that first opportunity of having a space in their office to help their clients while they were coming in and getting their taxes done. I could sit down with them and offer them additional, financial services, giving them that financial analysis, go over what they have going on, making those recommendations and so forth. So that's how I got started, really helping families and just leading with the noble purpose. And that's key for me. Noble purpose. 'Cause sales is sales, right? You have your top salespeople that, with their mindset is just, I have to close as many sales. I have to be the number one person. I have to do this, I have to do that. I just got to be number one. But I feel that if you lead with a noble purpose of truly helping people find the solution that they need, the sales numbers will come. They will truly come. And so that was so important for me, and is so important for me to this day. Even in my own venture now with my business, it's just truly leading with a noble purpose and really having the client's best interests at heart, and knowing that whatever it is that I offer to them is going to do them a lot of good for them and their family.
Exactly. Awesome. So let's talk about that a little bit. So you've been through. You got a good. I think that resume, all that helped you, right? Along the way, it helped you grow. So before we talk about your business, the Arise agency, I want you to share, because this is what intrigued me so much. It caught my attention how I saw your Facebook and you shared your story. So tell me, how does this company comes to you? Go ahead, man. Share that story, man. Listen to this, guys. I love this. Go ahead.
All right. So, in the midst of the pandemic, right? You have so much going on in the world. Every time you turn on the news, that's all you hear of the problems that people are facing. Whether it's, the economic problems of their finances, losing their jobs, the uncertainty of not knowing where their next paycheck is going to come from. And so literally, as I was, just taking all this information in, because, it was like really nothing else, you could really do at that time. We were sent home, people were working from home and everything like that. And then one of the things that you do regularly was, CNN or, looking at the news and seeing what's going on, because all this stuff is unfolding right before our eyes. Right. And so during that time is when God literally set me down, because again, I'd been, licensed since 2016 as a financial consultant, but it had never really hit me, because I was struggling with, what do I call my business? What name do I go with? Do I go with, the traditional like Burt something financial services or something like that? I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. But during that time, thinking about all the problems that we were facing in the world, right? The opportunities that exist for people that would otherwise say, you know what, now is the time for me to really start focusing on a business for myself. Everyone is in a situation. Everyone is in the same situation right now. It doesn't matter how much money you have. We're all faced with this coronavirus.
It doesn't matter how famous you were.
It doesn't matter. It can hit you just like that. You know what I mean? No amount of money in the world is going to be able to fix it or anything like that. And so that was the reality. So as I started like thinking, like digesting all of that, I started like just pulling up different random words, and it was just weird. I was just typing in different words. And so like one of the words that I typed in is like, I'm a big fan of Microsoft and I have a Microsoft Surface. So I start putting in, what does Surface mean? And so it started pulling up, what the meaning of Surface is. And And then it was just nothing but the goodness of God. He said, type in the word arise.
Arise.
And when you type in arise, the definition in the dictionary, it comes up. It says, of a problem, opportunity, or situation emerges, becomes apparent. New difficulties had arisen. And it was that moment, that very moment, brother, that Arise Agency was born. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, boom. Because at the end of the day, what I do to help families, it gives them an opportunity to leave a tax-free inheritance to their loved ones, to their children, to their wives, to their spouses. Right. It gives them an opportunity to make additional money, you know, because during this pandemic, man, you know, everyone, we had to pivot. We had to pivot from, you know, even myself, you know, had an office space, but we had to pivot. We shut down the office space and then everything went virtual like we're doing right now. You know what I mean? So everything shifted. And so in that time frame, you know, last year really and truly was one of my biggest years with helping families and my financial outcome at the end of the year, all due to just pivoting and shifting focus and people just, you know, people being at home and being more open to opportunities that, you know, otherwise they would be like, well, I'm too busy. I don't have time to jump on a Zoom call or whatever, but people had all the time in the world now. You know what I mean? Exactly. And so it was a great opportunity, a great time for it to happen. And I was just super excited about, you know, what God had placed before me to really elevate what I do to help families. So yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Wow. I love that story, bro. I love this. Very similar to what happened with this podcast. But listen, so he gives you the name, but in the Facebook Live, I remember you saying something. You said he even told you what group of people you're going to be talking to first. Tell me about that.
Yes, man. So, so like some of the people that he told me that I would talk to were, you know, teachers, because teachers were like some of the first people, you know, when you think about financial literacy, you know, think about high school, right? You know, we don't get financial literacy in high school. They don't teach us about credit. They don't teach us about finances. They don't teach us about balance. You know, they don't teach us these basic things that we really should know coming out of high school, going into the real world. And so reaching out to students, reaching out to teachers, reaching out to schools, and being a part of that system, you know, to bring that education, you know, to the masses as it relates to schools. So that was one of the first areas that I really wanted to focus on, because there's such a lack in the community when it comes there, you know, in our community overall. But, you know, how many communities can I reach in the school system? Limitless. You know what I mean? Limitless.
So what is the main goal? Like, what is your main goal with Arise Agency? Well, what is your main focus, your mission, your vision? What is it?
The main thing, man, is just to educate families on what the wealthy have known, what they use all day, every day, but just pretty much bringing Wall Street to urban Main Street is what I like to say. Okay. Because at the end of the day, in our urban communities, we don't get hunted down by, you know, the Edward Jones, the Charles Schwab organizations to educate you about finances. And so that's where my business comes in, and we really want to educate people, you know, that get overlooked, you know, middle class America that typically gets overlooked. And that's my main focus and my mission is to educate the middle America that most often gets overlooked.
Okay, so let's say someone has, like you say, someone has to, you know, put some money to the side. What do you, if they come to you, what do you advise them? Like, what are the options? If someone says, hey, listen, I got $5,000, $10,000, I don't want to put in a savings account because I'm not going to get no interest in it. What do you do? What do you tell them?
So, you know, everyone is going to be different, right? So it depends on, you know, where they are in age. You know, so that's a main factor, you know, where they, you know, where they are in age. Also, what is their end goal? Are they looking to do long-term savings? Is it short-term savings?
Okay.
So all those things factor into, which avenues I recommend as far as options for them. Because there's many different options that we have that, that clients can leverage. But again, it just depends on what their end goal is. So some people that might say, hey, I just want money put away safely for my retirement. And that's all I wanted to use it for. I don't have plans on touching it between now and my retirement years. Other times you have people that say, hey, I have a lump sum of money and I want to have access to it within a couple of years or within a year. And that's when we get into the family banking and the infinite banking and everything like that as well. So there's quite a few different options that, that we do have that allow people to have access to their money without all the restrictions that a 401k has.
Exactly.
As it relates to, age and years of service, or, how old you are and so forth.
Right.
And when you can actually touch it and why you can actually touch it.
Because the 401k that's for retirement. That's for long term, right? So, but if you put money, it happened to me. I was one that I was let go from a job or whatnot, and then the 401k, instead of rolling it over, I would just, because I was out of work, so I needed the money now. I don't need the money later, so I would take the money out. I'll pay the penalty, but I'll take the money. What's your advice on that? How do you see that?
So each person again is going to be different depending on what their end result is. Because if you're in a situation where one of the most important things that I educate families on is the importance of having an emergency fund. Okay, because if you have an emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses in a savings account that's liquid, so you can touch it in the event COVID happens. In the event COVID happens, number one, right? Okay. In the event you lose your job, whatever the scenario might be, whether it's COVID or just, differences between you and the employer. But you have that money in your emergency fund, so you don't have to go to your retirement to pull it out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So in a situation like you were talking about, you separate from a company, what do you do with that money? Let's just say in a perfect scenario, you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months in a savings account. So you really don't need to touch the money in your 401k, and you do want to roll it over. So there's other options out there, fixed index annuities, where you can roll money over into, where they actually give you bonuses for rolling your money into it as well. And they're more long-term types of programs where you can, roll that money over without having any tax penalties for rolling it over, because it's considered qualified money going from a qualified account to a qualified account. So you don't get penalized for that. So that's one option. But then you also have people that say, you know what, I really want to have something that's going to grow my money safely, but gives me a higher rate of return than a fixed index annuity. And that's when we look into the index universal life strategy. And so those types of programs, give you higher rates of return. They also, there's so many benefits to those particular programs. So those are just a couple of different ways that, that I would direct people or give them the recommendations and show them those options. Because I always want to make sure people see in front of them, what my recommendations are. So then they can say, okay, Thoris, I see this one. I like this one. This is why I want to move forward, because they understand it. And that's
right. So you break it down for them, right? You give them like a plan A, plan B, plan C, kind of say like that. And then, so does your agency, how does your agency actually work? Like, do you work directly with banks or anything like that, or a portfolio?
So I am appointed. It's called, you have to be appointed with different companies, right? Okay. And so with the companies that I'm appointed with, the importance of the power of choice is what I like to say. So you have companies such as Nationwide, Pacific Life, Allianz, Athene, Transamerica, Prudential. Those are just some of the companies that people would know right off the top of their heads, right? Because they've seen them advertised on all the different financial shows and ESPN and all these different places. But that's just a fraction of the companies that I work with. And so most
Okay.
often people say to me, well, Thoris, how is it that, you don't charge, exorbitant amount of money like these other companies out here?
Ah, that's
And
interesting.
the reason I'm able to do that is because these companies that I partner with or that I'm appointed with, I bring them the clients, right? And
Right.
so they take money out of their marketing budget and they pay me accordingly. So money never is exchanged from myself and the end user. It goes from the end user to Pacific Life, end user to Transamerica, end user to Nationwide. Okay. I'm the person that facilitates it, but everything gets transacted and contracted through those individual companies, and they pay me accordingly for bringing them that client. And so at the end of the day, a lot of times an independent person such as myself with my independent agency,
Right.
I sell more than their actual employees that work directly for Nationwide or Prudential and so forth. And that's why they pay me accordingly.
Okay. Okay. So just to make that clear, let's make it a little bit more elementary. So let's say like you're a car salesman and you have a person that wants to buy a car, but you're gonna go to your finance right person, and they're the ones that are gonna do more of the business, right? So you're kind of like that. You're kind of like that middleman. Is that okay to say it like that?
That is perfectly fine to say, man, because basically what happens is I do the financial analysis. I take a look at what the client has, what they have coming in, what they have going out, what they have as far as 401ks, stocks, bonds, CDs, money markets, just look at their overall financial picture. And
Okay.
from there, based upon what the client is trying to do, whether they're trying to save for retirement and save for college education for their kids, leaving a legacy for their family and their children.
Yeah.
All those things I look at and I make those recommendations. And the importance of having, I have about literally 70 to 100 companies that I have access to. So in that scenario of being able to try to find financing, for a client that comes in to shopping for a car, or a client that's coming in to shop for life insurance, that's coming to shop for retirement plans for
Okay.
themselves or shop for college funds for their kids. I have access to all these companies so I can look at what's going to be in the best interest for the client, bring them back those options and say, these are the options that we have. Which one makes the most sense to you?
Most sense to you, right? Whether they're doing long term, short term,
Right.
and whatnot. Now, how do you pick where you send them to? Like, if it's nationwide or something, how do you pick that? Or
So generally speaking, I typically, depending on what the client is looking at, I
yeah.
bring back 3 different options for that
Okay.
service that they're looking for, right? And
Right.
so I always look at which company is going to have because the companies that I work with, they're all A+ rated companies, number one. Okay.
Good.
Number
Good.
two, yeah. So number two, I look at, what's going to give the customer the highest rate of return, or that's going to allow their money to work best for them. So
Okay.
those are the 2 things, and then just the overall customer experience. Which company has that customer experience that someone that that's an older client or younger client, doesn't matter. They can
Okay.
call. If they can't reach me, they can call this organization and get the assistance that they need with the assurance that they're going to be handled right the first time around. So those are like the 3 things that I look for to make sure that it's
Yeah.
going to be a good fit for all parties involved.
Perfect. So now let's say once you turn them over to this company or this agency or whatnot, like, can they still contact you if they have questions, concerns? Like, are you still that
Oh,
point of
yes.
contact still? Okay.
Oh, yes. So that's very
Okay.
important. I'm glad you brought that up because one of the key differentiators with me and my agency, most Charles Schwab's, Edward Jones, they close, they're pretty much 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, right?
Right.
And so for a lot of my clients that I work with, they work during the day, right? So a lot of times what's most convenient for them is after hours or on the weekends and so forth.
Exactly.
And typically, my cell phone is 24/7, straight up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the assurance that people have with working with my agency, is that I can call Thoris at any point in time to say, Thoris, I need help with this. I had a client of mine that, that was going through a move, and, they're building a new house. And she said, well, one of our high school classmates as well, one of my clients, but she's like, Thoris, we've moved, we're staying in our in-laws house. Can we get the address updated? And I was like, sure. So I got that taken care of right away. And that was, one less thing she had to worry about, because she's like, I don't have access to this and this and this because it's all packed away. And it's like, don't worry about it. I got you. And that's the type of experience that I want my customers to have, knowing that they can reach out to me, ask me whatever questions that they have, and feel confident that I'm going to be able, that I will respond in a timely fashion, because
absolutely,
that's so important. Getting that fast response, and knowing that you can reach out to someone at any point in time.
Yeah, man. That's what I tell my listeners at the beginning. It's like, I know you're very trustworthy, brother, man. You're a good friend. You're good people. You take, what you do. That's why I have you on this podcast, because what you do, I know you take your job serious, and you're all about your business. Like you posted not too long ago on Facebook, you're all about that business, and that's wonderful, bro. Yeah, because when you talk about this type of field, this type of financial literacy, it's like, kind of people are kind of skeptical. I'm one of them too. It's like, where do you put your money? But sometimes the mindset is in the bank, but the bank is not necessarily the only place where you could put your money. So talk about, stock market. I know you're not too much into the stock market, or are you? Or I know you're not a professional in the stock market, but what can you say about someone who wants to invest in the stock market right now?
I love this question. I really do. Because at the end of the day, like you said, I'm not a stock market expert. I don't make recommendations to tell you to go invest in this or invest in that. I mean, I think
it's a risk.
It is a risk. What I will say is, number one, the first thing I always ask someone is making sure that they have their financial household in order. Okay, so the first thing, do you have an emergency fund? What is an emergency fund? If a rainy day comes, you lose your job, COVID happens, the economy shuts down, do you have money to keep you and your family afloat for 6 months without any income coming in, or whatever the case might be? If they say yes, then I recommend, since you do have that in place, any surplus money that you have, excess money that you have after you pay all your bills, knock yourself out and invest. But if you do not have 1 month's emergency fund saved, at least 1 to 3 months saved, make sure you build up your emergency fund, and then proceed to invest in the stocks and so forth. Because
that's important, bro.
Yeah, you have to know that it's a high risk, and so you have to be. I like to tell people, you have to be willing to risk that money, to lose it all. You have to be okay with losing all of that, because that's what can happen. And if you're not okay with losing that, you should never invest it. If you're not okay with losing it, don't invest it.
Don't invest it.
I had another client of mine speaking with over the weekend. And he said, Thoris, I literally had put all of my life savings into the stock.
Oof.
But then he had a reality check and said, you know what? That's not the right thing to do. I remember what Thoris told me.
Okay.
I lost train of thought there for a moment, but I remember what you told me. So I pulled it out before I lost anything. And so, now he's in the position of saying that, okay, let me get this emergency fund in place. And then once I have that extra money that I'm comfortable with losing it, if that's what happens, then I'll go and invest and so forth. So that's
cool, man. That's good, man. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's very important, man. So you're available. I have all your Instagram stuff here. So folks, look up Thoris Burt. He has all his Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Look him up on the Thoris Burt. It's not Thoris, even though it looks like it's pronounced Thoris. I remember your Facebook Live. It's not Thoris, it's Torres. It's like the Spanish last name, Torres.
Sí, Torres.
Even though it looks like it's pronounced Thoris, Thoris. Burt, Burt. So look them up. And listen, man. So I think later down in the future, because time is run pretty quick. But But definitely thank you for being here, man. And I think later, I think because earlier we were talking about something about Bitcoin, and I want to have you in a segment with a Bitcoin because I don't know too many people out there that know too
Mhm.
much, but I have a feeling that you do know about Bitcoin a little bit here and there, and you could give some. I think it's some pros and cons and some myths about Bitcoin that's going on right now, right?
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna have you on another edition later, probably next month or so. We're gonna do that. I want to do that. You down for that, bro?
I'm down for it, man. I'm down for it.
All right, so we'll do that. We'll do that. Get some stuff. So a Rice Agency LLC. They could get you. I don't have your number here, but later on we could at least get your number and whatnot. You
I'll
want
go
to
ahead.
share your number?
Yeah.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I got you, man. Let's do this real quick. What's the number? Go ahead.
407-242-0717.
All right, man. So if you guys have any questions, look up this man right here. There's his phone number right there. Like you say, he's available. He may not be available from midnight to 6 in the morning because I'm pretty sure he's sleeping. So let's make sure, let's make that very, very clear. But hey, man, thank you, bro. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, man. I
Absolutely.
want to definitely get another segment with you because I know there's so much talking about. I want to talk about later, not just about Bitcoin, but maybe like the 401k. You know, what is a 401k, the benefits of the 401k, whatnot. There's a
This
lot of
is not stuff. Yeah. Because, when we sign up for a 401k, you know, with the corporations that we work with, they just tell you the importance of signing up for it because it's retirement, right? But they
yeah,
don't tell you all the ins and outs of the 401k and what happens,
right.
the limitations and the tax restrictions and all those different types of things. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to come back and do a segment specifically to the 401k and how some companies, they do offer what we call in-service distributions, where even though you're still working for the company, they'll allow you to take some money out and roll it over into other programs and so forth. So so that's something that's available with certain companies. They do allow that as well. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to come back and talk a little bit more about that as well. And I think one of the other biggest things is that
Yeah,
you were talking about the banks, right? And how the
yeah,
banks give us 0.00%, 1% on our money that we put
yeah.
into our savings accounts. But
Crazy.
what people don't realize is that banks put millions and billions of dollars in life insurance because
Mm.
it's safe, it's secure. They don't lose money when the market goes south. Like,
Ah,
like when the market, went haywire last week, and when the market went
yeah,
south in, with COVID in 2008 and 2001 and so forth. So it's
exactly.
just a lot of things that are in books that, one of the books that I recommend is Money, Wealth, Life Insurance by Jake Thompson. And it's
Okay.
one of those books that really talk about what the banks do with the money that we put in our savings account.
Oh
And
yeah.
really and truly, what I do is I help people do the same thing that banks do with our money for their money. They just cut out the banks and they get to leverage the rate of
Mm.
returns and the securities and the guarantees the same way the banks do with our money. So that's one of the things that I take a lot of pride in, helping
Yeah.
families set up those types of accounts to ensure that they can do what the banks do and even better.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So definitely, bro, I'm definitely gonna have you back on another segment sometime, probably next month or looking forward. So
Okay.
I'll save the date. I'll look up a date for you, and we'll definitely talk more about that because this we could be here all night talking about this, and I know you love talking about it, bro. Because that's your
Yes.
passion, and I could tell, man. I appreciate it, bro. So guys, look up Thoris Burt under Instagram. I already put all the posts there. Facebook. You got his phone number there. So look up this man, a Rise Agency. Like I said,
Arise.
man, it was a blessing. Thank you for sharing that testimony. God spoke to you. God
Yes.
put this project in your hands, just like He gave me this podcast. And
And
we
one other thing before I leave,
yeah,
Angel, is
yeah.
that the other part of my agency that I help families with is there's so many families that are drowning in student loan debt right now. Okay.
Oh, Yes.
And the other, with the, with the new acts that, that Biden has going on right now, it's extending the repayment until I
Okay.
think like the end of October, 1st of September timeframe. But I also help with student loan forgiveness programs, with federal student loans forgiveness programs.
Oh, you
And
work with that
that's
too?
something,
Okay.
yes. So I have a partnership that works directly with Department of Education. And I've had clients that were paying like $1,300 a month in student loans, down to $300 a month in student loans. And it allowed them to then qualify because their debt to income ratio shifted into the
Yeah.
positive, and they were able to purchase their first home. So things
Okay.
like that, overall finances, especially student loans, forgiveness, that's something else that families can reach out to me, ask me
Okay.
questions about to see if they qualify for it. I'll be happy to help them with that as well. So just a full one-stop shop, everything finance, man. So happy to help.
Perfect. No, thank you, man. So, guys, there's his number 407-242-0717. Taurus, thank you again, man. God bless you, bro. Blessings to
Bless
your
you too,
family,
brother.
man. Take care of
Yes, bless
yourself.
you.
And we'll be talking to you soon again, bro, sometime in the future, all right?
God bless, man. Take
Okay,
care.
Papi, bro. Thank
See
you,
you,
man.
Papito. All right.
Take
Later.
it easy, bro. God bless. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. There you go, man. So look up Taurus on Facebook, Instagram. Send them a text if you have any questions or concerns. Anything that has to do with that type of financial advisor is what I call him, and I appreciate him. This guy is trustworthy, man. Trust me, when this guy, he's very cut, clean guy. He's very forward. His word is his word, and he's there to help you. So look him up. I already shared all the information. Shortly after I finish this podcast, I'm going to be having the audio download, so you guys could download the audio and whatnot. We're going to share all the links on my business page, the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast page, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, whatnot. So thank you guys for joining again. I appreciate it. Again, you guys already know about my business as well. I have here with the dry mailbox and whatnot. And so any referrals, you guys, I'm in the mailbox business. So, you see those little ugly mailboxes out there, stop by there or send me the address. I'll go over there and get them a new mailbox if that needs to be done or whatever. There's the website right there, drymailbox.com. Also, my wife, we're into natural supplements, great supplements. As you can see, we do our exercise in early morning. There's my website. I have my virtual store. Look up For Life Research. We're the immune system company, the number one immune system company in the market. All right. And not too long ago, they launched this. It's called a cellular activator. This activate your cells, man. Get you going. Great supplement. So you want to support my family and I, my wife, she's the one that does that business here from home. And she loves what she does. Trust me, she loves it. All right, guys. So, real quick, as you know, I can't end the segment. I got to thank God for another day. We had some great news today. My wife is doing good health wise. We're so blessed. God has given me the opportunity to do many, many things, especially this podcast. And this podcast, like I said, is your podcast. This is a podcast that's made for you. It's made to get your brand out there. This podcast is made to get you connected with great-minded people that are looking for either information, looking for help, or they have a business like my friend Taurus, and he could help you and he could give you some good advice with any financial help that you need. So, real quick, I just want to end this segment with Proverbs 17:9, and it says, if you want people to like you, forgive them when they wrong you. Remembering wrongs can break up a friendship. Once again, if you want people to like you, forgive them for when they wrong you. So when they do you wrong, remembering wrongs can break up a friendship. All right. So there you have it, guys. Once again, thank you for joining the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. Remember, mindset is everything. All right. So God bless you guys. I hope you have the rest of the week is a blessed week for you guys. Go out there, make things happen, and I hope to see you guys again sometime in the future. Actually, this Wednesday, I have a special invited guest as well. So we're getting busy, and thank God for that. So I'm going to be posting shortly tonight more information about the podcast for Wednesday. I have a very special friend, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. So, guys, once again, thank you for joining this podcast, and I'll see you Wednesday at 7. I'll send you information shortly. God bless you guys. Take care.